Only Sound podcast. It's not an Sound podcast. That is a dead segment, and we're not doing that. We're just bringing back the Emma the Asshole segment because Xavier loves the Emma the Asshole segments. By the way, we have Xavier to say hello.
Hello.
Nice. Yeah. So you would say this is a reunion, right? I'm gonna go crazy. I guess I can hear myself. Xavier, gonna kill myself live on camera.
That's unfortunate.
That's not unfortunate. Yeah, but you would say this because we had done like before we did like this Emma the Asshole segments, but it was in the Norwegian podcast. But we bring back to the English one because it was so good, right? So
it was amazing.
You would say this is some kind of a reunion. It's a reboot. It's a reunion. I'm so sorry for the podcast, right?
It's the Friends reunion everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah. So today's topic is gonna be reunion. It's gonna be reunion specified Am I the Asshole post.
Okay.
And that's how we're gonna. I think we're gonna do it like that. From now, we're gonna have like topics, so it's easier to recognize instead of just having random. I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but I think that makes it more systematic, at least.
Okay.
Do you want me to screen share it so you can see my screen, or does it does it like spoil you that because it says on screen if it's an asshole or not?
I don't think it does.
No, fair enough.
But,
no, it does. Like some of the posts does just spoil it if
I guess
people think it's asshole, whatever. Makes it easier to read, I guess.
It's a problem.
And do you want to take the first one? I want me to read out the first one.
Wait. Okay, so we're reading this one?
You're reading this one.
Okay, should I read it?
You can decide.
Okay, then I'll read it. Okay, let's go. Okay. Am I the asshole for jumping out of a bathroom window to avoid my mom's attempt at forcing a reunion between me and my ex-fiance?
Okay, let's do an immediate reaction. What's your immediate take on this?
My immediate reaction would be that this is not the asshole. Probably not the best way to do things, but I don't know what the circumstance was, so maybe this was the only way to get out. But if you're being forced to do something, you're never the asshole for copping out, right? You should always have that possibility of saying, "Hell no, I don't want to do this."
You can just need to stall it. I'm just trying to figure out some background music because I didn't think about it.
Okay. I'm like.
Okay, yeah,
it's
now.
Like ex-fiance. It's like, is that really something so important that you should have to force it? It's not like.
I mean, there's probably a lot of information that is missing to us.
Yeah, but like just right on first pitch, it's like first pitch. I just say like, nah, no way, you're the asshole for just this situation. If I'm just gonna look at it.
Like, what kind of situation do you need to be in that you need to jump off the window? That's like you being with your ex-fiance is like so bad. I mean, it could be just like a regular thing, but maybe they're like it's like an overreaction.
It's like more,
or maybe they did something. I
don't know where this. I don't know where this is happening either.
Yeah, sure.
But my guess is because it's a forced reunion, it probably occurring to the person's mother. So you're like, instead of having to deal with anything, you just go out the bathroom window, and it's like, sure. I don't like, it's like how much tension is actually going on, right? Okay, be silent for like 5 seconds. Be silent for 5 seconds.
I need to see how loud the music is. Okay, sure. Yeah, we can just go straight into this.
Okay, some backstory. I had been dating my ex-fiancée Sarah for 4 years. We had been planning to get married in November 2020, but I found out at the start of this month that she cheated on me. She begged me to give her another chance, but I broke it off. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The problem was that being cheated on is, in my mind, completely emasculating and humiliating. So I never told anyone that was the reason we broke up. For obvious reasons, Sarah also didn't tell people we broke up because she cheated. So people have blamed me for the breakup, including my mom. They just see that I dumped her out of the blue. I've gone very strict no contact with Sarah after I discovered she was cheating on me. Sarah's been talking with my mom and has convinced her that convinced her that if we could talk one more time, we would be able to reconcile. My mom has been applying hardcore pressure on me to talk with Sarah, but I've explained that there's no chance we will ever get back together. So tonight I go over at my mom's place because she's been hosting family for Christmas Eve. I'm there for a bit talking with my aunts and uncles and cousins. When the doorbell rings and I can see it's Sarah, I ask what the fuck's going on, and my mom says she invited Sarah so we can work this out in the spirit of Christmas, or the spirit of holidays, I guess. I'm pissed now because the only way to explain my side of the story is to tell everyone I was cheated on. Complete humiliation in front of my whole family. So as my mom goes to the front door, I go into the bathroom. My mom starts knocking on the door saying that I need to come out and talk to my ex like an adult. I say fuck it, kick out the window screen and get in my car and go home. My mom called a short while ago saying she's cutting ties with me over my behavior. She's really fixated on me jumping out the window and that Sarah will always be like a child to her. My sister called me after the
Ream?
Riam?
Ream?
Uh,
No clue. No clue.
called me after the probably just after the happening, I suppose.
Context.
For ruining Christmas. I broke down and told her that Sarah cheated on me, which is why I dumped her and didn't want to see her under any circumstances. She called me a big asshole who was lying to cover for myself. Am I really in the wrong? Okay.
First of all, let's start with the obvious. This is so stupid that he just didn't say that she cheated. It just makes it.
It's kind of, yeah. You've set this up yourself to a certain extent. Like,
you're getting fucked and then also fucking yourself over. I don't understand this.
You know, it's fair if you don't want to tell everybody, but like you probably should have told your mom.
Yeah.
Because why would your mom think that that's emasculating and humiliating, right? Like, no way your mother is ever gonna think that. Sure, you don't have to tell your entire family. You know, just say, you know, things happened and it didn't work out. You know, you don't have to actually go into detail with everybody. But the problem could have definitely been solved very quickly if he just told his mom. But you know, even if he didn't, I'd say, you know, people should still respect other people's choices and, you know, wishes. Forcing anybody to meet anybody isn't really a good way to make things happen, right? Like, sure, the mother wanted this to, you know, reconcile and, you know, see if she could attempt some sort of thing to get them back together. But
I was really triggered by the wording of, like, it said in the spirit of Christmas. Like, it said that somewhere. It tried to make it work for them in the spirit of Christmas. It's obviously, if they are not together, this is not a spirit of Christmas at all. This is just the opposite. This is just making it like what's it supposed to be, like a celebration, which is like gonna be with the closest family, and you're gonna have like a really like relaxing time. That you're just making everything tense either way, even though like in that realm of possibilities that they could be together and they didn't cheat and things like that, and they probably could be together. They like it's still a lot of like it doesn't feel like the time and place for that kind of stuff, in my opinion.
No, you know, it's definitely something kind of calculated. You know, it puts pressure on people. It's definitely not the time and place. But I think, you know, the mom was probably just underestimating why what the reason was.
Yeah, no, I think
and
this guy is just dumb for not telling. But also,
it's,
like,
you know,
it's a big leap in like privacy that just bring over your ex. No, to ex
yeah,
to.
yeah. It's like I'm still gonna say the mother was in the wrong because you should respect people's wishes in this case, right? Even if somebody isn't being transparent about why, you should still, in good faith,
But
accept
the
that.
mother
Okay,
must know there's a reason they broke up. So if she doesn't know the reason, then she probably realizes that she just doesn't know the reason. It doesn't just happen randomly most of the time.
I don't. I guess this mother just didn't. I guess stupid is as stupid does. It runs the family. I have no fucking idea. But,
Whole
I think,
family inbred. That's the.
I think it's pretty unfortunate. Like at the end, where he set himself up now to not be believed because people are usually dumb enough to just fall for seeming transparency, right? Like if people seem like they're honest, people tend to believe them more. And not sharing things will always make you seem less honest, and people will be less inclined to believe you if it's your word against somebody else who talks a lot and seems really honest and like explains all their stuff, even if half of it's lies. People think you're honest, they'll be more inclined to believe you. So it's a bit unfortunate that he finds himself in a position where he isn't believed anymore.
Because I was thinking about, okay,
but
so I think we have a really like shut case of what we think about the situation in the whole. But what do you think about like the sister not believing him, like thinking that
yeah,
just
it's like
the way?
it's they've been dating for 4 years. I have no idea how close she was to the family.
I
I have no
mean,
idea how
her
close
mother
he is.
says it was like a daughter to her. So I mean, she
Yeah.
probably
So
was.
I don't know how. Yeah, exactly. So, uh, you know, I don't know why she would think that he's lying if he actually broke down, because breaking down, means that you have an emotional reaction, right? So, taking it literally, if he broke down and actually seemed emotional, it's a very strange moment to lie. I guess they just don't understand how lying works, because nobody making up lies like that on the spot after something like that. Either people have the tendency to do that all the time and then it, but if people just do it like once or twice in your life, then that they're probably telling the truth, because most people won't break down and start lying. Most people, when they break down, they get overly honest.
Yeah.
Unless they
Unless
do
you're
it all the time.
psychopaths.
Yeah, unless you do it all the time, because you're a pathological liar. So, but maybe he is a liar. Maybe he's lying all the time. So the sister has like good reason to believe he's lying. I have no idea how much he has lied before. He's not lying now, right? But maybe he has a track record of lying. So, but still unfortunate.
I think the conclusion is no assholes, only idiots.
Yeah, basically. I don't think anybody's like an asshole, but there's definitely just a lot of lack of communication and a lot of lack of just understanding how things actually work. How things play out.
Yeah, no.
They definitely don't have.
I don't know.
Understand.
There's something, but there's like a big debate here about being like what is being nice and what is being not having a spine at all and not recognizing what is healthy for your own. Like there's only so much you can take of like lying until it becomes like the truth is just like you're just hurting everyone else. Like there's nothing. You gain nothing from this lie. There's like I understand that he wanted to make it like secret at some point, but like the moment she gets in the door and things like that, because it was also something we kind of like looked over, is the fact that she never told anyone about it either. So she made it out to look like he is the asshole all along. And if you like,
exactly.
if you're like You're like, you're just letting her do it. You're just being a doormat.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, if she
And she also she also came
she
to the
gets to
party
control the
knowing that she had cheated.
Yeah.
So she definitely deserved to get blasted on the spot.
But because because she seems like she's talking the truth, because she's owning the situation to an extent, right?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't need to share it. She can just say a lot of other things, and if she says a lot of other things, she just seems more honest, right? That's what I was talking about. People respond just positively if people just say things about things. It just automatically makes people believe you. It's just an advantage of being, in general, a outgoing person, or if you're not an outgoing person, people respond positively to people talking about your experiences or whatever. And if you keep things to yourself, most people, they don't really know what to do with that. And if you are in a situation where your word is against another person and you don't really say much and the other person says a lot, then people just, they're quick to conclude that the reason why you're not saying anything is because you don't have anything good to say about the situation, right? So they say, you're a liar. If you had something
it's very
good
chill.
to
There's
say
actually nothing
for
happening
yourself,
outside.
you would have said it.
It's really like chill at the place we are now. We're having fun in the basement. Very fun. The basement is very nice.
Situation he could have avoided. I also think if he just stayed and called it out there and then, it would have probably been a lot better. He really didn't think it through what the actual implication of this was, because by him leaving, he leaves the opportunity for her to cry and pretend like she's really upset. Well, maybe she is upset, I don't know, but like he leaves her the opportunity to give everybody an impression. And
he's just setting up for her, like to be really like the hero, so. And it's really annoying.
He definitely shouldn't have gone. Like it was a dumb thing to do, to go out the bathroom window in a situation like this, where he probably, like, if nobody believed him at that moment, right, where he would have stayed and just called her out there, and then if nobody believed him, then
weeks we've been in the basement.
He just has a terrible family, I guess, right? There's nothing you can do then. Like,
please don't
if
help.
he stayed and he had said what was going on and they still didn't believe him, then he's then he would be fucked. Like, there's nothing you can do then, right? But like, most likely, if he'd stayed and he'd actually just said what was happening at that Christmas Eve, then
I don't understand the jumping out the window part. I was like, you just seem like a fucking dumbass.
I guess it's pretty obvious that this person doesn't know how to handle conflicts.
Not a good social,
as you said. Guy. Like he's a bit scared. He has a bad self-image because there's nothing emasculating or humiliating about getting cheated on, right? It's something that can happen.
Yeah, he probably have like a father figure that's just like he probably have a lot of toxic masculinity, even though I hate that kind of word.
Yeah.
He probably have learned from his family that he's not allowed to show feelings and being
probably.
That's the vibe I get here.
He at least has a very bad self-image, and this really just goes to show that like how you perceive yourself really affects you in what choices you make. So you should always make sure that you at a default at least have a decent self-image. You don't judge yourself for things that you shouldn't judge yourself for, because like it's not in itself a lack of intelligence, right? It's more that you've stirred up so many emotions concerning this matter that your intelligence is no longer your means of reacting, right? You can only react based off the fact that you feel like this is a humiliating, a horrible thing. Everybody's gonna think you're some sort of reject or whatever, right? And
I think it's a really open shut case. I think you can just move on to the next one. We can look at some comments beforehand. Fuck that, your mom, Sarah, and your sister are all assholes. The nerve. Okay, there may be like kind of. Okay, Sarah is definitely an asshole there. Like, she cheated on him, and like she should have the understanding to not come to the party.
Definitely,
like, she has like psychopath vibes going on.
She definitely cares more about her own interests than anybody else's. It's like I can't say that maybe she wants to be together with him. Like it's not she isn't necessarily insincere or deceptive, but she's definitely more concerned with her own interests than his, because you don't do this if you actually care about the
No,
other part,
not at
right?
all. There's no way. You let him have his Christmas party. You let him have fun, and maybe you would take it up with him some other time.
You don't force yourself into people's lives, right? You can always try to knock on different doors, so to speak, right? But you don't barge in. If you know that the person doesn't want to meet you, you don't try to meet them through their parents or whatever, right? You just let them be until they themselves one day say, okay, sure, let's hash this out and talk about what's happened, right? But yeah,
the nerve of her to show up at your mom's house. I'm pissed reading this. I don't understand why your mother is so invested in Sarah. Why would you want to tell her? Why would you want to tell her Sarah she did after how your sister acted? What a fucking mess. Not gonna lie, you're kicking out the screen and taking through the window straight savage. Reflects on the legendary. NT? What does NT mean?
Not the asshole.
Oh, not the asshole. Thank you very much for the awards. As Can Stranger, Platinum, and 3 silver. No.
That was like a very simple take on that. Like, I can definitely understand.
That was definitely. I read the text and then I just reacted to what the text said, and not considering any other thought that was going for like the mother, the sister, like the situation. They didn't think about the fact that he made this situation so weird. Because why the fuck would no other in this story would ever think that he would just not tell it if she cheated? That's such a weird thing to do.
It's a very far-fetched thing to understand. Like, it makes sense from his point, but it's very far-fetched to actually get to that point where you can see through his lens, because it's so predicated on so many different things that you don't yourself experience, right?
And so, why would he not tell it? Like, if I was his mother or something, I would be like, there's no way he got cheated on, because then he would just say it. Why the fuck would he not say it? That's stupid. That's just whack.
It's he really set himself up to a very, very unfortunate situation where you really disturbed the information flow that people should have had access to actually make better discernments as to what was going on, right? You kept information away, and
it looks like this second comment has a better answer to this. I think I gotta say though, the OP honestly just sort of came clean at some point before they escalated to any of this, like the window kicking. I think yes, it shouldn't have been his family's business and yes, she should have believed him when she said they was cheated on. But come on, when it reached to the point that you have to essentially break out in mom's bathroom to get to the car and drive away, while people tell him someone that happened, you have to take a step back and see how it looks to people. Yeah, now it probably looks fucking whack to the other guys that just
like
it looks like he was the guilty one when he
it looks really
make an
bad.
escape.
Like, if it was a situation where he already knew beforehand that nobody was gonna take his side, then that would be like a situation where I would understand that course of action. But he didn't know that, right? He never even gave them a chance to understand. So it was really an action purely based off of some sort of false belief, which gave you fear, right? It's like it's a false belief, and escalated the stress in you, and you just stress out completely because you've lived, like, I don't know how long it's been going on, but you've lived like a long time based off of something that really isn't true at all. But if you believe it's true, it limits your possibility of action like a lot, right? So it's definitely just goes to show, right? You should always be mindful of what you believe and what you think about situations, because therein also lies your ability to act, right? If you think you can't do anything, that's going to end up being true, because you're going to act based off of those beliefs or those thoughts or feelings. So really, all in all, it just boils down to this person just not having a good mindset as to what someone can or cannot do in the given situation that he found himself in.
Yeah. Now, I think they just look like they're going on with their comments, and like they will respond to each other. So we can go to the next one. And I do believe this next one, I think you're gonna like this next one. This one seems like a spicy one. Okay, are you ready for this title?
I am ready indeed.
Am I the asshole for not letting my kids go on vacation with my ex because it's my time with them?
Okay.
What is your immediate reaction? I think it's maybe not an asshole. I think it's really like understandable when I think about it. What is?
I think that's like, there's so much things that could go on in that sentence, like in that given situation. I have no idea what to think. There's definitely a lot of possibilities as to how someone could or could not be an asshole just by that title alone.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't think that is going to be the case here.
It's at least a very, very tense. Like, there's a lot of elements into play in this, right? There's a lot of tension. It's not an easy situation in any way, right?
Yeah, but we can just look at it and like see if this is if this is correct or not, like the behavior. So right now, both of my kids, 16 years old and 9 years old daughter, and my ex are extremely mad at me. Oh yeah, and me because I give up my appointment with them. My son won't even talk to me. My daughter is crying all the time. A little backstory. Me and my ex divorced shortly after my daughter was born. I blame him for it and he blames me. I won't go into details. Well, okay, well. We ended up with a 50-50 custody agreement, switching every other week. While this was 8 years ago, we're still not on good terms. We rarely ever talk to each other outside the kids, and I'm perfectly fine with that. One thing we have agreed on since the beginning, though, is that we don't plan things on days that aren't ours, unless it's extremely important, and we don't switch days or weeks. In the 8 years since we've been divorced, I've been asked to have the kids on a day that isn't mine, and I've never given him one of my days, even if he begged.
Okay.
I never asked him. Okay. Well, last week my ex contacted me and told me the good news. His parents are hosting a week-long family reunion in the summer of Disneyland. By the way, this is a reunion team, if we forgot about that.
It's a reunion team, I remember.
I remember. It has been a long time. Summer at Disneyland. And he wants to take the kids. Well, the problem is that it's on my weeks. He asked me to let the kids stay with him that week, or to switch the week with me, so I shut him down. It's my week with them, and I got to spend it with them. I told him if it's important to him to reschedule, but he claims his parents can't do that because... and this is the only week that the whole family can go... and he told me I need to think of them. I told him tough luck and hung up on him. Fuck, this person can't structure a sentence like properly. Well, this last Sunday, when my ex dropped the kids off with me, my son refused to talk to me. And wow, Big fucking shocker. And my daughter wouldn't even look at me. When I asked my ex what was wrong, he refused to talk to me. Oh. Can't this person at least own what's happening? Does it also need to be retarded? What's this going on?
I have no yeah, I have no idea if they're actually oblivious or if they really
I really hope that the person was just really petty, but no, I just understand they're really dumb, and that no is getting so triggered because this person is just dumb. I asked them to snarky tone before leaving. When I asked my daughter what was wrong, she burst into tears and said that I was not letting daddy take them to Disneyland. Asking my son, who still refused to talk to me. It turns out my ex told him, what the fuck, I'm not letting them go to Disneyland with them. He's trying to paint me as the bad guy. Okay. I sat both of them down last night to talk to them, explain the week with them, but they refused to listen to me. My daughter just cried, and my son told me I'm only doing it to get back at my ex. Oh my god, that is the best based son ever. What the
yeah. Okay, well just wait. If your son says that to you, there's probably the likelihood that this is something that has been ongoing like several times, so you've probably given off an indication that that's actually how you go about your relationship with your ex, right? Kids are observant to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking low the fact that I'm only doing it to get back at my ex, period. And it just stops there. There's nothing reflecting about this sentence at all. It just stops. That was all we're gonna say about that. We just move on now. Oh, I'm not though. Well, he's gonna. Oh, okay. I think it's unfair for him to do this. Wait, I'm not though. Okay, it was not. I thought he was gonna say something. I thought there was gonna be something else. There was more gonna happen there, but it was not.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's unfair for him to do this when Paris schedule is during my time, and there was not. Okay, well, I demanded on partly my ex and him to set things straight, but he refuses. His last text to me was being, I can't tell them the truth because they already know it. I'm so pissed right now. I'm an asshole because my ex scheduled something during my time with my kids. Or is it my fault? Oh, that I'm using the right time. Just let me finish. The time with them.
No. It's like okay. It's like no. I understand. I understand, no and like in legal terms, this is how we go about like custody cases, like your right to be with kids. But
no, can we stop for 2 seconds? Let's pause it. It says my kids. Wait, what is it? What does it say? My kids, with my kids. It's also his kid. What's the point? Is the point that the like being with your kids is more important that the kids have a good time? Is that the statement there? Because that's the only thing I can see here.
Like that's what was gonna go about, right? It's like in legal custody terms, this is definitely how you would talk about it. But like in a more general case, you definitely don't own your kids like the way she is talking about it, and like yeah, it's your right as a parent to refuse something, but like why are you refusing it? Are you simply refusing it because you want to have that ownership or that claim that possess, you know, there's certainly an element of possessiveness here that isn't how you should go about kids, because kids are their own person. Even if you are responsible for them, they're still their own person. You don't have an ownership over them as a person in that sense.
It's crazy the audacity for this person. It's amazing.
And it's like refusing them to do something that in no way or shape is harmful for them, right? This is just a good experience for them. They get to meet their extended family. I have no idea how extended this family is either, right? Because it's a reunion. I don't know if it's a reunion with 20 people, 10, you know, but it's a reunion with a couple of people, so they get to see other kids maybe that I don't see often, and they get to spend time with them in Disneyland.
Did it say
so
anything
it's
about where like it was like a long wave part? I don't think it's really important, right? Because kind of.
I have no idea. Last week, my ex contacted me. Yeah, okay, so it's like it was a week notice. It's like I can understand like you finding it a difficult situation, sure, but it's definitely not the right way to go about it. There's definitely better ways to do this. Talking with your ex afterwards and you're just letting them know that this was a short notice and maybe you had something else planned and whatever, right? So in the future, these sort of things shouldn't happen on this short a notice. But I don't know how short a notice this was. It just says last week my ex contacted me, so if it's a week notice, that's pretty short notice, right?
Yeah.
Week notice is not.
But
a long
also
notice,
this guy
but...
I think
yeah, it's like it's not he didn't arrange it, but like
yeah.
it's still a short notice, so you could definitely
but it also
say something
this person
about that.
haven't said anything about something happening this week. Like there's nothing going on
like
here.
She isn't claiming
this person also
has anything
said they can switch the weeks. So I think I think the man
that they didn't switch. I don't think they switched weeks.
No,
ever,
I said no, but he asked to switch the week when he said I will take in on this week when it be Disneyland. He was he was offering to switch
weeks. Yeah.
So it's like it's not like he was like, oh, I will take this I will take the kids and take the other kids because they're like he wasn't picking up some cars like it's like a special occasion, so I will get them both times or something like that.
Yeah. It's like you could.
It's a really reasonable thing.
Swap it up, and it's okay. It's like it's not a easy situation in any means. Like just like the logistics of having to arrange this if you already aren't at good terms. This is just a tensious kind of situation, regardless. But you definitely should consider what the best interest is for your kids first. And in this situation, it's very apparent that, you haven't thought about what's best for the kids, because this kind of that kind of experience is a good thing for the kids. They get to meet family, have a good time, and
also the fact that when there was like the kids were like angry at the mother because there's a mother, right? I have not.
Well, the son was angry. The daughter was upset.
Yeah, but like when like, oh fucking hell, she was like, oh, you told the daughter and son, which means that she knew. Well, like it's very obvious. Like she knew that this was upset them, which means that there's no, like, what was the purpose? Like. What was the point of this? I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to see her side of it, and there's nothing else than just petty. And even the petty is not even worth the thing. Like, there's no way this is worth anything. This is just fucking over yourself. Because there's nothing happening. It's not like there was also something else happening, and you wanted them, and that thing was less fun than Disneyland. Because then it will probably be a debate here, but then there was nothing going on.
It's like if you wanted this to seem like this is something he regularly does in like some sort of negative way, you definitely should have said more. Based off the description now, you just seem like a very unlenient person. Like, for all I know, this is like a regular thing that happens often, but she isn't specifying this. She just says she doesn't give it even if he begs, and I'm like, okay, what does that even mean? She has not explained a scenario well enough in which it seems like this is something
this makes that makes me even think that this is even worse than it sounds like, because I think most of the time the people writing this is making them seem better most of the time, right? Like themselves to seem better. So I think it even is probably worse. It probably is worse than she's writing.
It could be. She's
probably super stubborn. Like
I can only take it at face value, and at face value, this is really not a. It doesn't shed a good light on you. It makes you seem very unlenient. It makes you seem like you care more about your, your past relationship with your ex and.
It's
and
just
all
really
the,
annoying too, because she didn't say anything about like her feelings. She didn't say why anything. There was nothing. There was never a why to why she did anything. So it's really annoying because I can't really tell what the fuck is going on here.
There's very little to base off of to give her really the benefit of the doubt. She hasn't really said anything to give her the benefit of the doubt. And the only thing, is that, like, the son saying that you're only doing it to get back at you, it's like, to me, that could be an indication of that's something you usually do and that your kid has picked up on it. The 9-year-old's just crying mostly also because she wants to go to Disneyland, so like the 9-year-old crying isn't really that big of a thing for me. It's like that could happen even in a good circumstance, right? So because 9-year-olds just they get upset if they can't go to Disneyland, even if it's a good reason why you can't go, right? So but that the son just reacts this way, it does say that your son already is having certain feelings or thoughts connected to this whole situation, like not even this scenario, but like the entire situation of the living with both parents and feeling like the mother prioritizes her own feelings over the kid's needs, right? Because or else your son wouldn't say something like that.
No, I mean that's fair.
Like there's a you just created a situation where your kids don't even understand what you're doing, and even if this is a situation, maybe there's a lot more to it, but you haven't said it right, but you've gone about it in a really bad way.
The worst part about this one is that it's so easily like avoidable. It's like it wasn't really a choice. It wasn't like really like there's nothing like, oh, you have A and then we have B and then try to balance it. It was basically just like, fuck you, husband.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not gonna let my kids be happy because
it's my time.
It's my time. And now you have your fucking kids, you have your time with the kids, but they don't fucking want to be with you. They probably never want to be with you anymore. Okay, never. But like, there's no way like this time you're gonna get with them now is gonna have any value.
You managed to get the shortest end of any possible stick, right? This is the situation where you really have there's nothing good going on for you right now. Which is why, like I said, the better reaction would be to just let it happen, and instead, talk with your ex about,
and then she was
how
like,
pleasant you found it.
And then she was like, "Oh, why did he tell him?"
That would be fair.
Why did he tell him the truth and then try to lie about it? I don't. What the fuck was that part?
That's a dumb part. Yeah, that's like this is not a situation where you keep things from your kids. This is not something you keep from them.
Yeah, like she says it like he said that Santa wasn't real to them. Something. I was like, why would she not say it? It makes zero sense.
I don't know why she thought that this wasn't gonna be can close to them too, right? Like they would know about this. They would understand because they've, for all I know, been asked by their grandparents to, are you want to come to Disneyland? Like, doesn't even need to be the dad that has asked them, right? It could be the grandparents or whatever. So they definitely, even if you didn't say anything, they would be able to add 2 and 2, right? Like, oh, we can go to Disneyland then, but we have to go to our mom. Like, what's going on? They would have figured it out anyways, right?
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to be ominous and hiding this.
And the only thing that could happen then is that they would believe that their dad didn't invite them. That's the only other way that could work, right? That's the only other possibility, that they would think that the dad just didn't invite them if they never told them, and then they saw that they were at Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the only good thing this person could have done in this situation is just let it happen and instead talk to your ex about it. Just sharing that you found it to be an uncomfortable situation, because that's fair enough. It's fair enough that you find it to be uncomfortable, because of course you are robbed from a choice, so to speak, right? As you said, there isn't really any
At least
choice
just bargain, say you want 2 weeks then, or something like that. You do something that's like,
you could do that too, but,
do something.
you definitely, this is the worst outcome of the situation that you could.
And then she talks like she has been wronged, like a fucking idiot. And then she's oblivious to the situation, how this is for the kids at all. I don't think she has any remorse for her kids in any of the situation. I don't think she thought anything about what the kids want. Like, she never even mentioned anything about it.
She's definitely a lot more busy with whatever she's dealing with, and that's why it's very poorly written on her side, because she does not give any light as to why she would react this extremely to a situation like this, right? She could have gone into detail and actually explained why this is her reaction, but she doesn't do that. So, we can't give her infinite benefit of the doubt, right? She has to actually give us something to understand her, and she doesn't. So it really sheds a very poor light on her, and it's her own words, right? So either you take that as she doesn't have anything good to say, or maybe she just really sucks at writing. I don't know, but it's like, you can't expect somebody to take your side if you're not even going to explain why your side is the way it is.
Yeah, no, I need to go to the next thing before I fucking get a brain tumor. So let's look at the comments first.
Okay, your ex gave you months of notice. Okay, so now we know it's
Wait,
months
months?
of notice apparently.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't
get that.
Hear it, but...
What? Well, last week my ex contacted. Last week? No?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. Your ex gave you months of notice for his trip. Have you ever been to this land? That's the kind of trip that takes a lot of planning, especially if your ex is trying to coordinate it with a large extended family.
And technically, he isn't the one trying to coordinate, right? He is a part of the coordination.
Yeah.
He isn't trying to coordinate it. That's what his parents are coordinating it, right?
If this is a only weekend that the whole family can go, then do you really think this is kind of thing that can be rescheduled so easily? He's trying to paint me as a bad guy. That's because you are the bad guy. You're being incredibly small, selfish, and petty. And it sounds like you are using this opportunity to get back at your ex and family some. But your ex probably is not that. Probably the ex is probably like, what the fuck? This is so cringe. But this is not going to be that bad to your ex.
No way.
Compared
in no way are you actually going to get back on your ex in any way in this, right? If that's your intention, your ex
probably have better relationship with your children now than you have after this. At least you give them more stuff to go on.
You've not managed to do that even, right?
Yeah, no, family somehow. What you are really doing is damaging your relationship with the kids. This drama isn't even about your kids, it's about you and how you are. In your opinion, so wronged. If you value your kids and a relationship with them, be flexible. Agree, it's not about the real reschedule, a family reunion, OP, deprived, original poster.
I think most people are just gonna say what we were saying in
no, I don't think you're gonna learn anything.
There's no way you and it's not because there is no way. It's just because you haven't given any information as to how this possibly.
I don't think. I think that person just knows that all the reasoning just doesn't work.
Yeah, probably. I'm just saying, putting it out there, like if you wanted this to go your way, you really did poorest job of explaining your situation. Like, this is...
Okay. We go to the next one.
And this has been a trend, so I really hope the next one doesn't have the same trend where it's literally them just not...
Now this next one I have fucking no clue, because the two we had now has been really direct. This one feels like a mystery. I don't understand what's fucking going on. You can read it out loud.
Okay. Am I the asshole for admitting that? Like, am I the asshole for admitting that my parents and niece? What are the reason? Okay, are the reason that I left, right? Not what. The what is missed is a typo, right? Am I the asshole for admitting that my parents and niece are the reason that I left? Okay, yeah, we don't know what you left. Okay, throw away.
Accounts.
I
guess.
Yeah, I whatever. I don't care. It probably doesn't matter.
Sure,
I 29 male, have a niece, 19 female, and as the title says, she and my parents are a massive reason why I moved away. Moved away from where? I guess maybe we'll find out.
Parents? I
Yeah,
guess you just mean the parents. That's the only way I can think this works.
Yeah, the age just confused me a bit.
Oh.
Like, did you move away?
Oh.
Okay. Are you talking about that you had to move away when you were 29? It's like okay. It's weird to complain about. It's a weird to complain about that, but sure, dude. When she was a little kid, she was unbelievably disrespectful and was just downright mean. Okay.
Probably a party. It's probably a reunion. Yeah, this is a reunion. The topic is reunion. So she probably
scream.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yell if no one was around. She would cuss at me, and occasionally she would do random crap that she would have. Oh, what the hell?
Do you prefer me to just send you the link?
Yeah, I can do that too. I think it's like 720 pixels. So. I'll probably be a bit better to read on my own. Okay, I'll just read it here. She would. Okay, I'll just start with. She would literally scream, yell. If no one was around, she would cuss at me, and occasionally she would do random crap that she would have never done if my mother, her grandmother. Wait, what? Oh yeah, makes sense. Or her parents were around. For example, she would spit, throw stuff, purposely spill stuff, and if I ever stopped her or told her to stop, she would run to grandma and tell her I was being mean, and I would get in trouble, and if I didn't stop her, I would still get in trouble. Okay, sounds like this is a really that's a tough situation to analyze, because it sounds like
she sounds like a kid, and
way too much leniency from her parents and grandparents in this case, I guess, right?
Yeah,
should definitely not just be.
I think this is going to come back to like they're going to get in a reunion, and then she's going to be the exact same way, and it's going to be pissing off and leave. Right?
You should definitely, sounds like they haven't done anything to actually try to correct this behavior, and that's unfortunate for the kid too, because she's a kid. She's not supposed to be responsible in the same way for her actions, but you should definitely hold her accountable, so that you teach your kid you shouldn't do that, right? So it sounds to me that she wasn't even taught properly, raised properly by the parents in this case, then, because if she could just go around and claim that someone was being mean and they believe her, then you've definitely given your kid way too much leniency. A month before my 18th birthday, I told my parents that I wanted to visit New York City, and they said that was fine. We lived in South Carolina, if that matters. I have no idea where that is, but my niece's birthday was 2 days before mine. Okay, and 3 days before my birthday and 2 before we were supposed to leave. I already got my bags packed, and they saved up, booked the tickets, and were ready to go. The next day, my parents informed me that we couldn't go because they had planned a huge surprise parties for my niece, but they miscalculated or something, and it was a lot more expensive than they thought. If I remember correctly, it was about $6,000. Okay, that's pretty expensive. So they used the money that they had saved for the trip on the party. That's pretty fucked up. When I asked them why they couldn't just cancel it instead, they got mad, and my dad said I was being an entitled brat. if you call your 18-year-old kid an entitled brat, then that's also not the right way to communicate with your kid again. They're not even a kid. They're kind of an adult, right? It's not the kind of it's not the right kind of way to communicate with a person that's going to be independent. If you actually want to have a good relationship with your kid when they're 18 and calling them an entitled brat. And my mom said I was being selfish for not wanting my niece to enjoy her special day. That's kind of weird because the entire concept of a birthday is like, it's kind of vain, right? There's definitely a selfishness to birthdays, so why the hell should you not be a bit selfish if it's your birthday, right? Well, should you care about somebody else's birthday on your birthday? It's like, why do we even have birthdays if we don't allow them to be vain like they are? Because that's what they are. They're kind of vain, but there's nothing bad with that in and of itself. But this is there's a logical fallacy in that sentence for me. Like, you're complaining that someone is selfish for wanting to celebrate something that is inherently selfish. Okay, well, they didn't cancel it, but instead moved it back by 2 days due to some kind of schedule mix-up. I was honestly tired of their bull, so I moved to New York and went to college there, and that's where I stayed. And now I'm an attorney with 2 amazing sons. About 2 weeks ago, I got a phone call from an uncle about a family reunion. Okay, so an uncle means that this is not the father of the niece.
That's the
right?
topic.
Because
Okay, uncle. Uncle? I
about
think
2
is
weeks
it
ago.
her uncle? I think she would just write her uncle or something.
Yeah, right. So this is like another brother of the parents, right?
Hopefully that
a
doesn't
couple of
matter.
days ago.
If it matters, they're gonna go crazy.
I thought it would be nice for my sons to meet some of their family members. If I recall correctly, the only people they know are the people who moved up to New York, which is a couple of my cousins and my younger brother. So we went, and when I saw my niece, she acted the same as she did before. Later in the evening, my aunt asked why I moved to New York. My mother answered for me, saying that it was so I could go to college. I found it unbelievably unassuming that she thought after all the years that that was the reason, so I started laughing uncontrollably. My mother asked why I was laughing, so I told her that New York University wasn't one of the reasons why I left. It was because they were crappy parents who loved and cared about their shitty granddaughter more than their son, and my niece was and is still the perfect combination between a crotch goblin, a brat, and a shit stain. My mother called me an ungrateful, disrespectful brat, and my brother and sister-in-law were pissed. I was a little pissed myself, so I just left. Am I the asshole?
It just flipped 100 at 1 second. What the fuck happened?
You know, this is definitely a much more complicated situation than the other two.
I mean, we have to. I think we can split it up to sections because the asshole part here is the last part.
Yeah, the asshole part is the last part.
Like, how bad does it need to be before that is okay? And I think that needs to be really bad before you can say exact. Like, you can laugh. I think that's like on the gray, what's it called, the gray scale. It's like out there. Like, I think that's okay. But like calling her a rat thing like that was like, I think that's asshole behavior, right? I think before it was like okay. Kind of, yeah.
It's definitely.
You can say that she was the reason that she needed to move because it was kind of spoiled, but definitely like you kind of overdid it. You guys oversold it, I guess.
Yeah. I think you've definitely allowed that past resentment to boil up, but this is kind of like, this is a case where this person obviously has a whole lot of resentment. And they've just allowed that to boil up and become worse and worse and worse over the years. They have resentment to his parents for not showing the kind of attention and love and whatever that he wanted to have.
But it's also so weird because if
there's like, he used very
Because there's
He
no way
used
this
an
person
example.
say this for the first time, right? They can't be like he's just snapped now. It needs to
I
be like
think
something he would say normally.
I
Kind of.
think this is something that this person just said now, because the person doesn't really. As I read it, the person doesn't actually talk to their parents a lot, right? I got a phone call from an uncle indicates that if your uncle is the one to tell you about the family reunion and not your parents, then chances are you don't really talk to your parents a lot anymore.
Sure.
So I think that given what we know, he probably hasn't really said anything, except for that one time with that birthday, I guess. Maybe he said something then. I have no idea if he actually said something. I think he just, from what he's written, he didn't actually say anything then. He just kind of dipped. But he's built up a lot of resentment, so it's definitely just somebody who has a lot of things bottled up, and when you have things bottled up, then you definitely go overboard when you actually share it. It's definitely not constructive. But given like the few things we know, it does seem like he's never ever felt heard in any way either. And giving him the benefit of the doubt, maybe that actually is the case. The parents didn't care about his side of it. And if that is the situation, then you definitely don't care anymore about formulating things in a more delicate manner, right? If you believe that people aren't going to take you seriously anyway, then you just say whatever the fuck you want, right? It's pretty standard, right? He probably just said that because he figures nobody's going to take my side anyway, so I might just do what I want to do and gratify myself by being able to say this instead of saying something nicer. But it's all about what the situation really was. If this is this something he just perceived to be true, or
yeah,
is
no,
this
I was
actually
also
what's
wondering
true?
that, like how much this is
If
fabricated, just bad
it's
memories.
it's like, yeah, how much has he just perceived this to be true and just gotten a bias and started to
because it
view
sounds
things.
really, really extreme.
Yeah, and extreme situations like that do exist. So
because
like,
I do believe that she was just a spoiled
turn it out of
brat.
hand.
I do believe that part, but like the parents thing seems really far fetched.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because it's just a short post, but this is definitely something that could happen.
Sure.
So, in the benefit of the doubt to him, then if this is actually the real situation, then I don't think you're an asshole for doing that. In the sense of you should be ashamed of yourself or you did something terrible, but you're an asshole because it's not the right thing to do, like strictly on a general basis, but like you can be excused for it, right? Which is kind of it's not like a traditional "am I the asshole" post for me. It's more like, is this an excusable behavior kind of question?
Sure.
And if the situation really was as bad as he explains, then yeah, I think that's definitely an excusable thing.
Yeah, but okay. It was a reunion,
that
and
it was a reunion. He chose to go with his own volition, but
yeah, I mean, like, I guess if he had snapped at another point in his life, I would be okay with it. But he just went there and snapped, and I was like, this didn't need to happen. Like, it didn't need to. Okay, I understand. I understand you want to be in the reunion, but like,
it's like it's a complicated thing because
because
they
don't hang out anymore. They don't hang out.
If he didn't have kids, he wouldn't have gone to the reunion. Is what I took from it, right? So we have to.
Fair enough, but like
take that.
It's like,
we have to take that in the equation. Like
you don't
kind
really
of going there.
You don't really talk to them that much. You don't need to care.
No, but like I guess he just depending on how bad a situation is, it can really be like a hit to the gut if your mom just
I guess
says something that
I
is
guess
so
here,
deliberately untrue.
I guess she just doesn't have ties with his parents at all. I think that's the things that are going on there. That's like the missing link. The way it makes
I think
sense.
he hasn't really talked to his parents, and he just ended up there, and he just has a lot of resentment. And the only and we don't know this as a fact, so it's hard to really come with like a definite
Because he did say
assertment,
they were
but
crappy parents, which could mean more than the things that he has said. Because the things he has said doesn't really
it's like
100% support this claim.
it of itself.
Yeah.
No, it of itself, it's like you've made some poor choices as parents, but that doesn't mean make you a crappy parent, because every parent at some point is gonna make poor choices.
I need
That's
more
just human nature.
things for you
We
them
definitely
to
need
be
more
crappy.
things. So that's why like if we give them the benefit of the doubt.
But if they've all, let's imagine they're crappy parents, and if they are crappy parents, then I can more see it. Like I can understand what's happening here. He just haven't talked to them in a long time, and then he just snapped because it was like
he bottled up a lot of shit and he snapped. So it's just about how much of a benefit of the doubt you're gonna give him, because this is if we're only gonna care about whether he or not is the asshole and not gonna judge anybody else, then we should give him the benefit of the doubt, because that's just how you should analyze these things. And in the benefit of the doubt, he isn't the asshole, right? But we can't. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna able to say that the parents are assholes, because then I have to give them the benefit of the doubt as well, right? So, but only purely based off of whether he or not did something that is excusable. If he actually had such a hard time with his parents, then yeah, that this is something that is gonna happen, because that's just how feelings and stuff work, right? If you keep too much in yourself and you don't let it out, then at some point they're gonna get the better of you.
Yeah, and I will say that it was very annoying that he started off with a 29 male and 19 female, and then didn't elaborate how old they were when he was talking about these things that go on. It was really annoying.
There were very
There's
many
10 years different.
That's
the only thing that is important there. But like, if he is 18 and she is like 8, is it really that? Then it's like understandable, right?
To me, I think he probably just wanted to point out that this is a long time ago, but it still bothers him. I don't know, but it's definitely he hasn't elaborated enough on what actually happened, except that he wasn't believed. And sure, that is good practice, right? You should never assume that one kid is believable. Like I even have there was even a little anecdote based on myself, was that in school we had a ball to play with during recess, and some girls wanted the ball, so they went up to the teacher and they started crying that we had taken the ball from them, which wasn't true. But because they were crying, the teacher automatically assumed that we took the ball and we had to give the ball to them. Which kind of, if that is something you have to deal with on a regular basis at home, then yeah, that does give you a lot of resentment and a lot of negative feelings towards the kids and people who don't believe you, simply based off the fact that she's a smaller girl and whatever the hell. So it's definitely depends upon how much it happened and how little he was believed and whatever not. But there's not enough to go by to really say exactly what happened. But given that he actually has a good reason to have these feelings,
I just have to. You're just gonna go in circles, because I'm gonna be like, if like either it's like the reasoning is not good or the reasoning is bad, and like it's gonna go in circles forever if we don't just choose that
Yeah,
he is just
you have to. It's like you have to choose whether or not you want to give him the benefit of the doubt based off the little.
because
Um,
he's explaining very little about like the situation. I understand that it would be a
I
lot
think
of
you know.
random shit that would need to be just be fitted in here that just makes sense to this overall story, which makes sense, but it makes it really hard to know if it's justified, because it feels it could be, but it also feels like it also could just be very overacting. I can
It
see
could
both ways
be,
there.
but you know, um,
Yeah, but you're
I
gonna
just
give him the
think
benefit of
that
that.
that you know, the one thing that wants me to give him the benefit of the doubt is just that the part where they got mad and my dad said I was an entitled brat and my mom said I was selfish for not wanting my niece to enjoy her special day does indicate to me that they did not take his perspective at all on that situation, because it was his 18th birthday, which means it was her 8th birthday, and an 18th birthday is a lot more significant than an 8th birthday. Uh, if you're gonna believe that birthdays mean anything, then you also have to take that side where becoming 18 years old is definitely one of the biggest birthdays in your life, right? Because
Probably. I don't
you're
know if that's
you,
different in America.
well, you're allowed to vote, and right, like in America, you
Yeah,
might have your 21st too, where you can drink, but like, you're officially an adult in the sense of
sure.
you can vote
Because
and all
in
that stuff.
Norway
So
we have like everything is you get everything when you get 18
we have
birthday.
everything we have everything when you're 18, right? Yeah.
Basically,
In
everything
Norway,
important.
we have like 18 is one of the biggest birthday, and we have like konfirmasjon, which isn't a birthday, but that's also like a hallmark where you like
But that's 16.
we have that as big as 14
Oh,
or
sure.
15, right?
I
Yeah, I
think
think it's one of those.
it's
But
15
anyways,
or 16,
and
right? Isn't it?
I no, it's the year before you go to Videregående, and you turn 16 the year you go to
Oh,
Videregående.
sure. Fair enough.
So it's the year you turn 15, I think.
Sure.
If I remember correctly. But anyways, like for me, it's not enough to be certain about anything, but I can definitely,
You
if
can
this
see
is
a
the
world
case
where
where
this is
yeah,
okay.
I can definitely see where you've actually been neglected, which is really what he's if his claim of them being crappy parents is just that they have neglected him because they were more busy with her, right?
Mm. I
It's
also
like
didn't understand why the fuck there was so much with the niece. I didn't get that part, but sure enough.
I think he just sees the niece as the catalyst to all of this, but to me, I would not have
Yeah, sure, but why
blamed
is
the
it? Is
niece
the
at all,
niece? Why is the niece here so often? Like, how often is she
because he
leaving?
sees that as like he sees, yeah, she lived with the parents, from what I
But
understood,
why?
right?
I never got why she was living with them. I don't. Where the
That
fuck
I
did
don't
that?
know, but that's what I understood, right? They
I,
did
I
live
that's
together,
that was
or
I
did they
also
not?
understood, but it was never like Denise needs to live with us because her parent died or something like
Maybe they
that. It
didn't
was like,
leave. I don't know. No, but I don't know. I have no idea. But it's just he feels neglected, and he feels that the catalyst of the neglect was the niece. The niece was the cause. But to me, he's a 29-year-old man. He should definitely have understood that the niece was a kid. The kid isn't the one to blame. If the situation was that they neglected him because of the
yeah,
niece, it's not the niece's fault. It's the parents' fault. The niece isn't
the niece
doesn't
should
have
at
the
8 years
power.
old said no,
Well, the niece
stop
is just
the
formed.
boo.
The niece is just formed by the attention she got, right? So the niece, if this whole situation is true, then I would argue that the niece is the one who has it the worst off, because she's been taught a lot of bad shit to learn in life, right? If you think that you're going to get away with things because of some stupid reason, your parents teach you it's okay to be that, or you can just blame others and your parents believe you. That is a very poor life lesson to have as an adult, right? You've learned a lot of bad, bad things. You know, you've been shaped on behavioralistically in a very poor manner. If this is the actual case, so the niece technically has it the worst off, because the niece is gonna sit there with a ton of misconceived ideas of how life works, and when she actually has to face the real world, as you call it, then she's gonna be so screwed, because people will not put up with that kind of shit if that is what has been going on. But there's too few real examples given, right? There's
but it's
like
still like
situation, so, yeah.
He's saying the crotch gobbling, a brat, and a shit stain. I mean, like, it's still too much, right? And it still shouldn't be targeted to the niece. All right.
I think that it's
she couldn't call her spoiled without being so crass about it, right?
It's not a good thing. I'm not gonna judge it based on whether or not it's a good thing. I'm just gonna judge it whether or not you actually have reasons that are excusable, that you had the lapse of judgment, right? Because is this a lapse of judgment? Was this something that happened because you just didn't deal with this shit early enough? Maybe you also had something to drink, for all I fucking know, and you know, you really just ended up in like the worst imaginable situation for yourself or not, right? Because that's really what the question is. How bad was that situation for him when he sat there later in the evening and felt that, you know, how bad were your emotions reacting to this, right? What was going on inside of you? It's not the right thing to do ever, but is it excusable? Maybe, right? Because whether or not something is excusable isn't just predicated on whether or not it was an okay thing to do. You know, it's also based off, were there enough elements in play that it's comprehensible that
it happens
at that given time you couldn't do anything different.
Sure.
Right. That's what goes into that. And yeah, sure, there is a scenario where such a thing is excusable. You should definitely afterwards own up to it and, you know, apologize for delivering it that way. You should definitely make amends afterwards, to a certain extent. But
yeah, no, I'm actually kind of interested in seeing what the comments saying about this one. I feel like there can be a lot of different interpretations of what's happened, because there's a lot of different things going on. There are a lot of different elements going on at the same time. Down one's asshole. Don't down want the asshole. Okay. Not the asshole. At great timing before niece invited herself to visit New York City and know that she's an adult. Yeah. What? Wait, did she ask what joining?
No, I think he just brought that up as a possible thing that could happen, right? Because
right, OP, original poster. You did the right thing by going away, and now you have confirmation that you should have stayed away. I actually don't understand this one, but sure. Fair enough. Is there any? Not the asshole. The only issue here is the delay. Couldn't you have told them sooner what you thought about their parenting? That putting your niece first and their son second was a failure in itself. You gotta get your life together. No, this is dope. I brought it up to the past many times. My father would just shrug it off, and my mother would always say it was acting, talking silly. Yeah, nah, it does sound like the parents are kind of whack.
This was just I think this was just like the poster just didn't really have any real options to do anything other than just not going to the reunion.
Yeah,
you could have just, you know, made the choice that these people are toxic and I just shouldn't have them in my life. They bring out the worst in me, right? That's just what this person should assess after all this is, you know, they're toxic people, and when I go meet them, the worst of me is brought out, and maybe I just shouldn't go meet them anymore because then I say things I shouldn't say, and that can be the case, right? Some people can bring out the worst of you, and then it's not you shouldn't fixate on the worst that happens. Then you should rather fixate on why should I even meet them if that is the case, right?
Yeah. No, I think there's not. No, I think you have a pretty good solution there. Not solution, but like there's not much more to unpack about this one. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think we have little information about being justified or not, but if every element of it being true and every like puzzle piece just fit in the spot that we think it fits, I think it makes sense at least. I think it could be been handled a little bit better, per se. I like that he stormed out. I do not really enjoy how crass the wording was to this niece, because it doesn't paint him in a good light to the family. Because like if his point was that his parents has been bad, and bad, I sound like a fucking has been like bad parenting. They have been doing bad parenting. Then you doing that just makes it seem like you're a spoiled brat, right?
Yeah.
In the eyes of someone that doesn't know.
There's no way this is the right course of action if you had a calm mindset and you were thinking ahead of what you were supposed to do, right? But we can't judge it based off the fact that he had the calm mindset, right? He was probably under the influence of strong feelings, and he didn't actually consider the best course of action at the time, right? Because it's not the best course of action. There's that much is apparent, right? You could.
I'm really confused about it. Like,
and I think that it's very immature to think that it's the niece's fault, because it isn't. You've blamed your niece way more than the niece deserves to be blamed, because
she was breathing mostly.
Like she was just a kid, and you don't blame kids for those kinds of things. You blame the adults that are around that are supposed to be responsible and supposed to actually have a better sense of judgment. Kids don't have good senses of judgment in that way, right? So you don't judge kids on their sense of judgment. That's just foolish.
Yeah.
You judge adults on their sense of judgment because they're adults, and unless they have some other sort of circumstance that robs them of their sense of judgment, then that's what you judge them on, right? And his sense of judgment was definitely impaired to a certain extent, so that's why I'm gonna say that yeah, okay, that can happen, and that's understandable. It's excusable in that you didn't do anything horrible. You weren't deliberately destructive or anything in any way. You didn't do anybody any harm, really. You just had an outburst, a verbal outburst, and people can do a lot worse.
It is kind of vulgar, though.
Such a situation.
It was kind of vulgar, though. Like the language.
It's vulgar, but it's of the
possibilities,
multitude of ways people can react. It's not that harmful or bad, right? You could have gotten violent for all I know too, right? There's definitely people who could just deliberately been violent, and you weren't violent, right? You didn't do anything harmful in any way per se.
No, not necessarily.
You kept your composure, at least to the degree that you didn't do anything that's inexcusable either, right?
I would be more inclined to be on his side if he were just calling her spoiled brats. If that was the only thing and then stormed off and said crappy parents, I would be like, sure. There was just how much more words are needed to describe how awful person this niece was, that just made it like a little like icky. But I do understand it to some degree. But yeah, we can go to the next one. I think we're pretty done with this. Am I the asshole for leaving my boyfriend family reunion and ruining my boyfriend's sister engagement announcements? What is your immediate reaction to this one? Also have the reunion in the title, because that's the topic of today. That's important.
My immediate reaction based on the title would probably be that you're the asshole, right? But that's because the title just doesn't explain.
Am I the asshole for leaving my boyfriend's family reunion and ruining my it doesn't seem like two sentences that is like correlated to each other. It just seems like two different.
Correlated. Of course, the engagement announcement happened at the reunion, which is.
Yeah, but how they are it's not necessarily two sentences. If it hadn't been together like this, I don't think it would like. I wouldn't really.
It would sound like you deliberately did the second thing, yeah. But in this case, the engagement announcement happened at the reunion, and I don't know what the sister did. So based on the title alone, I would probably be more inclined to say you're the asshole. But that's just because the title sets it kind of.
Okay, so Xavier thinks I am the asshole. That's what you said. So
yeah, that's
for context. I 23 female, have been dating my boyfriend 24 male. For 2 years now. I will admit, we are a on and off. There should be like a dasher, no, but forever. Relationship. We were dating during our high school years, but later broke up. They've been dating for 2 years, but they were dating.
That this is like since they've been on and off, but since they've been dating for 2 years. So they've dated more years.
So why didn't you just say how many years they dated in total? This makes it so dumb. Okay, as we didn't want to pursue a long distance relationship, as we headed off to California. Okay, fair enough. I guess okay. We later reconnected 4 years later. Okay. And after 2 years, decided to retry our relationship. My boyfriend invited me to one of his family reunions. I only recounted attending one during Thanksgiving when we were like 17, 18, around the time when most of our family time enjoyed my presence except for one, his little sister. I really don't care about this whole segment. Okay, fuck off. My boyfriend told me that his sister is very overprotective and it grew stronger due to previous ex. The ex and him lasted only 8 months. I see the word gay under her. As the ex later announced that she forced herself into dating him and actually realized she was gay. Okay, spoiler alert. I understand that and didn't take much harm with a little sister whenever she would make snarky comments and glare at me. At the family reunion, I met her and her boyfriend. Oh, her boyfriend seemed like a pleasant guy. A bit shy, but overall a nice guy to be around. During the reunion, I got a call from one of my best friends asking to be excused and took the call. I asked to be excused, took the call, whatever. My best friend was announcing to me that he just found out that his fiancée is expecting. And his fiancée wanted to throw a little celebration and asked if I could come next week. I got happy and said yes. I was still happy from the news and told my boyfriend. His sister overheard and made a snark comment. How? Snark comment how?
I think about how I was happy about the baby that wasn't even mine or his, right? Okay. It was a snark comment about that she was happy. I think the quotation marks they're bad quotation marks. They shouldn't be there.
I attempted to ignore it, but she kept making rude comments. We had a dinner and sat down when his sister made a comment to the family on how I was bringing up another man more than my own boyfriend. her own boyfriend. Oh, I sure enough.
No, my own boyfriend.
No, but it's quoted, so it isn't a quote. This isn't a quote.
It isn't.
If this was a quote,
usage of quotation.
If this was a quote, you should her boyfriend. He would say it in her the sister's voice.
She doesn't understand how quotation mark works. Okay, it's okay.
Immediately I got
fancy.
got up, thanked his family for the food and left. I know this was a bit childish, but I wanted to stay here for a long list. I didn't not want to stay long. Listening to this disrespect from my friend and his fiance. I later got a call from a boyfriend and he asked if I could apologize to his sister, as during the family reunion she wanted to announce her engagement with her fiance, but due to me leaving, she felt embarrassed and upset that her moment was outshined. I told him that I refused to apologize and that if anything she should apologize for the comments and she made about my best friends. Am I the asshole? Question mark? Exclamation mark. Fucking hell! I'm getting a stroke from reading this. No, I think anything else than the sister is fucking whack is a weird take on this. Also, kind of based to ruin her engagement proposal. That was the biggest W.
She technically didn't even do it, but like technically,
didn't do anything other than
being leaving.
Was it the leaving part or was it the fiance? No, there was the leaving part.
No, it was leaving.
How does leaving outshine the proposal? What a fucking lame proposal you need to have to be outshine by a person sitting up from her chair and just walking out.
And mind you, even thanking, right? Not making a fuss about it, just saying thanks for the food. I have to go, right? If somebody said that is not a big deal, right? Sure, people might wonder,
maybe
why did she leave? But
she took the cake and threw it at someone. Then she would outshine it, probably.
Then that would be an outshine, yeah.
She just walked out. I don't understand. And also based. And also, who the fuck went to propose in a family reunion? I can't.
Well, no, she has proposed.
She has proposed. Oh,
yeah. She's announcing that they're engaged, right? She's not proposing. She's saying that he proposed and that she said yes, or that she proposed and he said yes. I don't fucking know. Either way, she's just announcing that they're engaged. So the proposal is already done.
Okay.
It's literally just saying, "Hey, we got engaged."
And what you're saying is just she is so little liked by everyone in the family that this girl, whatever her name is, just walking out was more important. It was outshining her. Fucking hell, this is so dumb.
The little sister definitely has some sort of issue with whatever the hell, and she's definitely controlling, and that it just didn't turn out the way she wanted it to. I guess she didn't control the OP in the way she wanted to, and she had to try to make the situation worse by claiming that because of her she couldn't announce her engagement or whatever. I have no idea. The only thing I really want to take away from this, because the rest of it is really just so easy, right? There's really nothing much to talk about.
Yeah, no.
One thing I really want to say, because it's something I've just read several times other places as well, is the boyfriend asking if she could apologize to the sister.
I mean, I think he's just oblivious to everything that happened, right? It's just stupid.
Sure, but I think this is like, I think that is, it's really one of the I think it's like it's probably more controversial than I think it is, because for me it's fairly simple, but it's definitely, who do you prioritize if you're in a relationship with someone, right? The person you're in a relationship with, or your family, right?
But would you call this preferring your someone over the other if it's not really related. It's not really like one person is saying something and some other person saying something else. It's just one person attacking. So it's really hard to say something.
Being a messenger is never a neutral thing. You cannot be a neutral messenger. It's impossible to be a neutral messenger. If you carry a message, it aligns you to that message in some way, right? Either you carry that message in a manner in which you say the message is wrong, or you carry the message in a manner which you say the message is right. You know, that you can't be neutral in it, regardless of if you want to be or not. So for me, you know, it's taking the sister side to the degree that, you know, he is supporting the claim that the girlfriend should apologize to, or the fiance. I don't even know if they're engaged or not, but that she should apologize to the sister, you know. And for me, it just goes into a bigger trend I've seen elsewhere, right? Where if you're supposed to be by your girlfriend, wife, whatever side, or if you're supposed to be with your family side on matters like this, because
what?
Yeah, like as a general rule, right? If your
repeat it.
partner, if your partner has an issue with your family, whose side do you pick? Your partners or your families, right?
Fair.
It's a thing I've seen like several other times where I see people have like I think it's fairly controversial what people actually believe. But that's like the most interesting part of this thing was, you know.
I mean, I think it's more interesting when it's like both sides are like, you know, have like something to say. But in this scenario, it's just like
in this case, it doesn't really amplify.
It doesn't really help you like understanding what you're trying to say.
But it's definitely like it does bring up the question that the boyfriend should relay that message or not, or in what manner he should relay it, right? Because to me, you know, unless, you know, if 2 years, if a relationship is 2 years, you should definitely be more aligned to your relationship because it's chosen than to your family, because a relationship will break if you don't indicate that part of you is more important than the family, right? And so for me, that's like, it's very minor here, of course, but I have read other scenarios where it was more major, and I think it's a controversial thing for a lot of people. I think some people think, you know, they stick with their mother if the mother is this, if the scenario was that it was the mother that had an issue, you know, or something like that. But to me, you know, it's like a partner is something you choose, and you have to solidify that choice more deliberately than you have to solidify that your mother is your mother, if you understand what I mean, right? Your mother is always going to be your mother, you know, even if you take her side or not, right? But your partner, there is more. It has a greater implication of whether or not you take your partner's side than whether or not you take your mother's side on the relationship itself.
I think we are just talking about like something completely different.
We're talking about something very different
because this post is so like one-dimensional. It's like there's no other point to be had.
She didn't do anything, so there is no asshole behavior.
No. He was really based when when I knew she ruined her proposal thing. I know that she was actually the legend. This is not "Am I the asshole?" That is like "I am the legend." With Will Smith.
Am I legend Will Smith? Was my slap Oscar worthy or not? Fuck it out. No, but like, yeah, the post itself was too easy. It's like there's not much to talk about.
I imagine the comments all are like gonna be like, and the BF is defending her. Yeah, that is also the most interesting thing here. But I do think this is one of the things that like. There was things that happened, and like this is like the typical boys don't see it, and they're like so much passive aggressive that just happened. And when she talks about it here, it's so obvious. But he was probably just sitting there like They're just talking. Like,
Yeah,
probably didn't see
he
it.
doesn't. But that's why because my general theme throughout all these posts have been like you should think about certain stuff before it even happens, because if you actually thought about stuff before it happens, you're better prepared when it happens, right? And for me, that's definitely my point is, the boyfriend should think about what is it to be in a relationship? Should I take my partner's side or not when things like this happen, right?
I think
And I think,
I don't think you should
on a
know
general.
that beforehand. You should probably think about it in each situation, right?
No,
I
no,
don't know.
you shouldn't. You shouldn't
Oh,
take somebody's side regardless of things, right? But you should understand what it
or the
implies to
class.
take someone's side or not, right? Like, yeah, what is the consequences of it?
Hmm.
Because that,
I would
regardless
really
of whether or
love
not
an
you
update of
understood.
what happened there.
Because the point is, if the boyfriend understood the implication of taking the sister's side, regardless
Mm.
of what had happened, then he would have understood that taking the sister's side is just a unconstructive thing to do for the relationship, even if he didn't understand what was going on, right? That's my point. That he doesn't need to understand what's going on if he understood that taking his sister's side does indicate a detrimental thing to the relationship itself, because those kinds of things, even if you don't do them based off of any malicious intent,
Yeah, no.
do have a detrimental consequence.
We still are like, passive smoking. This is like passive asshole.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Oh, by
You
the
become a passive
way,
asshole.
the sister obviously is the asshole. We never said it,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think this was
But
pretty implied. Also looks like there's no other opinions to be had in the comments. Seriously, besides the negative correlation and general shittiness that tends to associate with on and off relationships, this guy sounds like his creepy family baggage and or very little or protective instinct of his own. OP is sold you out. And by the way, what his sister did was not being protective. She bullied you and made snarky comments. I understand the thought of it being protective, but this obviously goes to the falter of being more of like negative associated with just
it's
anyone.
being controlling.
Yeah,
it's being
that too.
controlling. It's not being protective. It's being controlling, right? It's being
And also,
controlling.
I didn't know
Because
that little sister was or protective. I thought it was like more the other way around, but fair enough. Just because what was the reason? Because her girlfriend was gay.
He had been in a relationship which he experienced he was forced to be in. So
Dating
this
him
guy,
actually she was gay.
this guy doesn't really have much of a backbone, apparently either. So he was forced to be with a person who wanted to find out whether or not she was gay, I guess. He was like the test run. Am I gay or not? Let's try it out on this guy.
It's a really
So, yeah.
weird thing to be mad about. Like he did this to himself. It's not like I don't know.
But like it's not being protective. It's being controlling, right? There's like two very very distinct things for me. Being protective and being controlling are not synonymous. They might seem the same, but they're not the same. Because being protective also should imply that you want somebody to be able to fend for themselves, right? Because you can't be there at all times. So you want somebody to be able to fend
I mean, it
for
could be
themselves as well.
overprotective without having like enough brain capacity to realize how.
But then you're not being protective anymore. Then, like you can think you want to be protective and be controlling, right? You don't have to be deliberately controlling in the sense of that
You're thinking about the definition of controlling. No, definition of.
I'm thinking about like what it actually
protective.
means to be protective and what it actually means to
and
be controlling.
Not about
right?
the feeling of being protective.
No, not about the feeling, right? Just the actual mechanisms of being protective.
The objective truth about being protective.
Yeah, and like the consequences of said things, right? The consequence of being protective should not entail that you limit somebody's capacity to fend for themselves, because then you've made them dependent. and then you're not really protecting them anymore because you won't be there at all times for them. Well, except if there's like a very, very special situation. You know, you have a kid with a severe lacking of whatever functioning, right?
Did they ever
then
say
you're
anything
gonna
about
be
the age
very
thing?
overprotective. Yes, 23, 24, and
Sister
22.
has 22. Okay, well,
Yeah.
fair enough. We have been talking about this post for a really long time, and we have not talked about this actual post at all. So I think we're pretty done. And and I think it's pretty one-sided. This next one I think will be the last one. And I'm looking at it, and this one looks kind of interesting. It's also is like posted 2 hours ago, which is very interesting.
Okay.
And it's like,
Okay.
oh fuck,
It's a fresh post.
Oh fuck! I went. Okay, this one looks really like interesting, like how. Okay.
Good fresh baked post. Let's go straight out of
Send
the
it to
oven.
you, and
fresh
out of the oven. I will let you have it. It has a lot of like spicy things there. There's.
Okay. Okay. Let's dive right into it, dude. Okay. Am I the asshole for accusing my ex-girlfriend of cheating because she went on 2 episodes of a virtual dating show while we were together?
For this is actually like a good scenario. Like I think this is a very interesting debate going on here.
This is a good thing to analyze as to, you know, because this is also a very like time relevant thing, right? This is in our time. This could not have occurred before virtual dating shows existed. So, and that means that, you know, there are new rules. We don't know the rules. We have to figure
So
out the
do
rules.
I.
So it's okay. Let's show.
But let's But let us.
You want to take the title first?
Yeah, because I think there's opinion to be had there, because I think there's obviously like a difference between cheating and like in the sense of physical cheating and emotional cheating. I think this like being on a dating show isn't cheating, but doing it without telling someone I think could be considered like emotional cheating at some degree.
I think like cheating is you have like the easy definition of cheating. The easy definition of cheating is that you do something sexual with a person that is not your partner, right?
Yeah.
That's like the easy
That's the number one, the day one, as they call it.
Yeah. That's the easy, and from there you have
subcategories
that often need to be disclosed also in the relationship themselves, right? Because people can think that just flirting is cheating, but then what is the definition of flirting again, right? Like flirting is something that occurs even if you don't have any intention of doing something with it, right?
The definition of like flirting differs from person to person. Also,
it's different like, from person to person, right?
And how they do it themselves and how they accept it from others.
Say that, you know, your partner is a waitress or, you know, something that is a job that does have human interactions that often resemble flirting, right? Because if you are something that wants to, you know, sell something or whatever, you often do things that are flirtatious in nature because that actually increases sales, right? So is that cheating or not in that case? Because it's just done in a professional capacity. You know, you're not intending to actually do anything with the flirting for your own sake in forming a relationship. It's just something that occurs because when those human interactions, in those human interactions, flirting is just a natural occurrence, right? It's not a deliberate thing. It's
a spectrum, like it's just a show like. There's nothing that is flirting and is being social. They're like flirting is just a part of being social.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you have like things as emotional cheating as well, which is like it's also more difficult to solidify because at what
categorize, I guess.
point is and what point is it cheating, right? Because say that emotional cheating is getting feelings for someone, and being emotionally a bit intimate with someone, right? um I would say, yeah, of course, that indicates that something needs to be brought up, because either that means that you're falling out of love with the person that you're with, and you're falling in love with somebody else, and then you should break the relationship off, right? But
Hmm.
if that's the first thing that you do, then by my definition you haven't cheated, right? You've simply noticed something, and then you've done the right course of action, right? You've noticed through somebody else that the relationship isn't really going as I wanted to, and now I need to break that relationship off, because apparently I'm having feelings that aren't met or whatever in my
Sure.
relationship. So that isn't cheating for me yet, right? Because there has to have there
I
has
mean,
to be
there
an
has to be a
occurrence of some
downtown
sort.
before
Yes, there
you.
has to be an occurrence of some sort, right? There has to be a punctuation in which you can say cheating has happened, because there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
several things that can lead up to what one would conclude is cheating, but we can't take those things that lead up to it as cheating themselves. They have to have that, you know, point uh, in that process where it has occurred,
I mean, this is very
whatever
technical
that
because
needs to
I
occur.
think there you can take out specific scenarios which you would probably classify as cheating, which is like in
and I,
the
and I
realm
think
of
and I think that's like different. Like I've seen people, say, what looking at porn is cheating, and I'm like,
oh yeah, that's true. There
okay,
people do say
i-
that.
i- 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 you haven't done anything in that case which forms a relationship to somebody else, right? So for me, it doesn't make sense to call that cheating, because at no point has there occurred anything that this person has formed a similar type of relationship to somebody else, right?
Hmm.
Because so for me, you might say it's an unhealthy thing for a relationship. You could argue, right? Like, I don't want you to do this because it makes me self-conscious about myself, whatever. I'm not saying there aren't arguments to be had as to why you
Hmm.
dislike
Sure.
um your partner looking at porn, but it's not cheating in the strict sense of that they haven't created a relationship with somebody else that is
Yeah.
similar or subsidiary to your relationship, right? There's nothing
How do you
that
think
has
this
happened.
how this do you think this ties into the
Yeah,
this
so
topic
so
then?
for me, a virtual dating show, what is a virtual dating show is something that I need to have to like know a bit more
Yeah,
clearly. Is it something that's a
because I
bit
can see
more
it as just like
ironic?
a job
Is
too.
it
Like
Yeah, yeah, it's a job. Is it supposed to be like sort of ironic? There are probably
but
virtual
on
dating
dating
shows that
shows
have like
there are
I have
probably
I have
okay. I think you just need to go into it. Like I said, I think
yeah.
speculations doesn't
So
really help.
but at least for me, the my definition of cheating would be that there has to have happened at least
Something
something that
physical.
indicates that you're trying to form a relationship with someone else that is of equal nature to the one that you're having with your partner, and that it's actually like happening, and
Like
yeah,
what
usually
would you call it
usually
if
something
we
physical would happen.
that like somebody's like kind of touchy, more touchy than normal? Is that like would you consider that to be like
Yeah,
very
I would
flirty?
consider that I would consider that to be very flirty.
I mean, but not
I'm
cheating. It's not emotional cheating in your
no,
opinion,
no, I wouldn't consider that cheating. But of
but it's
course,
borderline probably.
I think I think the problem is that just using one linear metric to ascertain whether or not something is good or bad for a relationship isn't the right way to go about it, right? I think the better question is it toxic for a relationship, right?
But you should
Is it
probably think about it in the
because
sense of would you do this to another person that is you don't have
yeah,
feelings about? I guess, right?
yeah,
Would
yeah,
you?
and exactly, and I know that a lot of people are very touchy for people they don't have feelings for, right? There are
Yeah.
tons of people who are very uh, flirtatious in nature, right?
Hmm.
Not because they have feelings, but because that's just how they are, right?
So it should
So
probably be in regards of how they normally act around a certain person, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
imagine
sure,
something like that should
sure,
be.
and that's why I would say that we the question shouldn't just be cheating or not cheating. The question should also be, is it healthy for a relationship, or is it toxic? Right? Does it have detrimental sides to it? Because sure, you could say that somebody being very flirtatious isn't necessarily cheating, but it can have detrimental effects on a relationship.
Yeah.
So that it still makes it something that should be avoided. And again, that might just be based off relationship, each individual relationship, right? Some people might mind more than others, and then you have to sort that out.
Oh, that being said, though, it's still super weird to be on a dating show and not tell your partner. That's still super weird. I think that don't.
Yeah. Okay. So because I can read that was undisclosed. So yeah, that's just weird. It's weird. It's a what
Yeah, no,
yeah, it's a
I think
deceptive
we should
thing.
just
It's deceptive.
go into
Yeah.
it.
My ex-girlfriend, 19 female, and myself, 18 female, had a recent dispute over her undisclosed participation in 2 episodes of a virtual dating show while we were in a relationship back in June. I had only discovered this revelation as I curiously inspected one of her YouTube subscriptions that I had noticed when we were watching YouTube videos together. Upon further inspection, I found out that she had participated in 2 dates on this YouTube channel during the midst of our relationship. The gist of this virtual
I don't want to
dating.
stop you, but I'm kind of confused if this is his ex-girlfriend at this time or current ex-girlfriend. I hate that.
They are broken up now, but they
But
were in a
then
relationship in
the
June.
story when he's talking about when watching the videos is when they were together, right?
When they were, yeah. So they broke up over this.
I hate that the English language does not that Norwegian language either has it, but there's not a word that describes to be that you have like a girlfriend that is like a former girlfriend. Like when you talk about girlfriends, you either talk about like I was with my girlfriend, but there should be like a word that describes that you were with like an ex-girlfriend. That isn't like like it's really confusing because if you have like a girlfriend and you're talking about this like a earlier girlfriend, it's just so annoying to me. I get in this situation a lot where I try to understand stories and like the word girlfriend is just like so annoyingly weird because when talking about it in like in the past, it doesn't make sense because it's not a good girlfriend anymore, but you still have to say girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. There's no real past tense of the word girlfriend, right?
Yeah, that was so confusing.
You don't bend it to past tense. Well, you could say
Yeah,
but
yeah,
whatever.
sure.
This is
This current
they were
girlfriend,
together.
but not anymore.
No, they're ex now, right? Yeah, but they were girlfriends. It was past when they were together.
Because when I read this title, I was like, okay, so he found out that she was in a dating show after they broken up. Was what my immediate thought was on this how this was written, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because he should have said, "Am I an asshole for accusing my girlfriend at the time?"
Yeah, that's what
cheating, right?
that would make sense.
That's what you say. Am I the asshole for accusing my girlfriend at the time?
Yeah, no, but fair enough. I understand it now.
The gist of this virtual dating show is to bring together 2 or more participants to engage in a date on the VR chat platform while encouraging drama and all sorts of twists, right? So it's supposed to be ironic in nature. Okay, that's what I get, right? It's
hard to say to take this very seriously for what I.
From this description, his own description, it's an ironic virtual dating show because if you're encouraging drama and all sorts of twists, it's not a real date. Because a real date
it's really
doesn't involve drama and all sorts of twists, right? That's not what a date is. We had been dating for 4 months till the recording of the first dating show episode. At the time of these other dates, she only mentioned that she was going to be spending the night hanging out with her online friends on VR. She has done this plenty of times, and I did not think, nor did she mention that it had anything to do with engaging on a dating show. The extent to which these dates reached were insignificant, but it may be important to note that in both dates she agreed to a second date, to which the other person disagreed. To play into character, she claimed to be a pansexual, so she was matched with a woman within the first and a man on the second date.
But
She used it as evidence. Huh?
no.
Uh,
I
she
was just
used it as-
like, you can take this later, but I was like, she was just pretending to be pan, or is she?
Yeah.
Because I think
she
okay,
pretended to be pan to the show hosts. She falsely
yeah, because
claimed to be pan.
then her based like his statement of this just being fun just adds up, right?
Yeah, okay, but which is what he's going into. She used it as evidence to claim that she intended it all to be a joke, as he was matched with a woman, and therefore it wasn't really a date. Which might be true. I'm not like
Yeah, sure. We can go through it all before we comment on it.
yesterday. The dating show hosted a reunion of prior cast members for an episode in the
We
channel. When
then
I
woo
confronted her,
is a topic.
when I confronted her about where she was going for the night, she lied initially before providing any information about the show. When I confronted her afterwards, she was hesitant and claimed that she didn't bring up the show prior because she was considered it irrelevant and knew that I would be like this. She assured me that she was hanging out with her friends on VR and that it wasn't a big deal. She had insisted that she was just there for the drama and that all she wanted to do was make enemies. Okay. She felt that it wasn't a date on either episodes and that her friends who had partners were also in the show, so therefore it wasn't cheating. I repeated that what mattered to me was not what occurred in the show, but the action of entering a dating show without notifying me prior. In these episodes, she was questioned whether she was dating someone at the time or even had a boyfriend, to which she denied on camera. Okay, so that is definitely
Weird.
something that I would say is cheating.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because the only function of denying it is to solicitate that you're available, right?
Yeah.
So such a thing is cheating for me because of what it entails, right? There's no reason to deny it.
I have no clue. In a dating show, when would you get asked, "Do you have a boyfriend?" That seems really weird.
Because it's ironic, right? It's very obvious that this is a VR skit shit fuck. You know, it's not supposed to be serious. There are plenty of people who are already dating someone. You know, it's supposed to be really just like an ironic thing. I think that.
Sure.
I think the dating show in of itself is rather innocent. Just purely the dating show in of itself, right? Her excuse was that behind the scenes she told the cast and eventually the date that she wasn't treating it like a date. I cannot confirm these details, nor does it matter to me. She assures me that if I did what she did, she wouldn't consider it cheating, despite her having small arguments with me over just me being in the presence of another female, even my family members, cousins, aunts, etc. With this all being said, am I the asshole for arguing that she cheated while we were together?
I do think being with the cousin is actually cheating. I do agree with her there. And if she cheats with her aunts at the same time.
If you're in Alabama, then that's definitely cheating. In Alabama, you cannot be trusted with your cousins.
Just being in a family reunion is just cheating in Alabama.
Yeah, they play by different rules there.
Is this asshole behavior? I don't know, but lying is so weird, right? I don't know. Maybe it is asshole. The lying part is the worst part. I don't understand the lying part.
So for me, you know, I think that in this case, you know, a lie of omission, which is, you know, not telling somebody something that you know you should tell, is definitely just the equivalent of lying, right?
Yeah. So especially because she knows why she's lying, right? So it's like it's not like she's lying for another reason. She's like, oh, I know how you're gonna react.
Knew that I would be like this, right? And knew that I would be like this. So it's definitely, you know, lying with some sort of malicious intent. So the definite cheating part for me is just denying it on camera. Denying that she's.
I mean, she said
just cheating.
She said it was in character, so I don't know if that is just she was in the character. But I still don't understand how you get in the scenario to be like, do you have a boyfriend in a dating show? Like, that seems so weird. Because why would you ask, do you have a boyfriend in a dating show?
Okay, like this would be the interesting thing then, right? If she had told him before
Uh-huh.
I'm going on a dating show and playing a character, then I
Yeah.
would have said no. It's not. It would
But
not be
then
cheating if she
then it
denied
wouldn't
it.
be a
No,
post, I think, at all.
no. But my point is like the fact that she said no, I don't have a boyfriend on
Yeah.
camera, is only cheating because she deliberately was hiding it from him.
Yeah.
If she told him and she said, I'm gonna go on a dating show and play a
Mm.
character, then of course, if she said no, I don't have a boyfriend, it would be completely fine, right? Actors who are professional actors do the same, right? They aren't cheating when they play
They
a
are
role
cheating.
that doesn't have a boyfriend.
All actors are
Like,
cheating. This is my
so-
honest opinion about acting. Cancel all actors.
It's just it's the accumulation of just the deceptive nature of her actions, which is cheating. Going on this in of itself is not cheating. Doing this in of itself is not cheating, but doing it in the way she did is definitely
Borderline.
yeah. It
I don't know if I would
it's
call it
only
cheating.
function.
It's
It's only function. It's only function if you look at it from like the
but I
perspective
can like
from the
see I
boyfriend,
can
it's
see it. I can
going on
actually
the
see it
girlfriend.
being her actually playing character though. The things
Oh.
match up kind of. And
I'm
if
sure
she
that-
was a
yeah,
character, then. But if it's a character, she could just tell him. I don't understand why she wouldn't tell him if it's a character.
Yeah,
because it's very
this
obvious
is
a
why.
character, in my opinion, that it makes sense if she's like obviously straight and having dates with girls. Then it's that they have a good point here. But like then the fact they had to lie at the same time, it seems weird. I don't
The
understand.
reason why I would call it cheating is because
I don't know if I call it cheating, but it's definitely not. Definitely asshole behavior kind of deal.
The only function of these, the only thing this can lead to is you getting a relationship, right? There is nothing else that this does.
Oh,
right?
maybe there was like a cash
and
prize. If there was a cash prize, maybe that's a different story, right? Because I don't think it was. They would have said something about it. I think.
Yeah.
I
think
imagine.
it was just shits and giggles.
Maybe we need to find. We need to find the dating show and then watch all the episodes, and then we can determine. that is a course of action now.
But like, I think it's just that there's definitely from a relationship perspective.
Yeah.
All you really
like,
set up is you not being
it's
in a
so
relationship.
easy for it to be like acceptable, right? It's so easy because obviously
it's very easy.
She needed she obviously entered this competition before getting together, right?
Well, it isn't even a competition. No, it was 4 months after they were together.
Okay.
She was probably just a regular VR chat enjoyer, right?
Oh my gosh, she's a streamer. She's a streamer. I can see it now. I can see it all.
Stumbled across somebody on
Wait,
VR chat.
I actually do I want to do this? I want to find this. I need to find this. VR chat. Ugh, I wish there was a name. Oh, maybe someone in the comments. Maybe if we get to the comments, maybe someone's gonna be saying like, "Oh, wait, where the fuck is?"
It might not be there yet. It's so fresh, but probably.
I mean, he said he found the thing, right? Oh, this is not right.
Yeah, but it started 4 months after the relationship.
Yeah, no, but he found the videos, right? That was the point.
Yeah. He found the videos. Yeah.
So we can find videos.
Yeah. But I don't want to search for that. The hell are you gonna search for VR virtual dating show and then look through like a million?
I have never seen a VR dating show before. I don't think there's many of them. I think this is a streamer thing. This sounds like a streamer thing, right? There's no way this is like a high production thing by actual studios. This must be like
it's
a
so
VR
high production, dude.
No, this has
so
to be like a
production.
like a.
It's like the next Paradise Hotel.
But I promise you, the comments gonna say something about it. So when we get to that, they're probably gonna be like, this is very and this probably this person and things like that. They are okay, but before that point,
I think
cheating.
it's a very silly situation, really. It's
so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so
riddled
dumb.
with
Why would
so
you lie
many
about it? I don't
things.
understand why you lie about it. That's so weird.
No, that's why I would say, it's all the.
But would I
It's
call
on
it
the
cheating
verge of
though? I
cheating.
don't know. I don't know if we were asking if this is cheating or if this is asshole behavior, because this is asshole behavior. But I don't think it's cheating.
It's like
Maybe cheating.
It's
I don't know.
because
I don't know.
it's because there is so little conceivable reasons as to why somebody would
Yeah,
do
no.
that if they did not intend to cheat, right? That's
Yeah,
the
no.
point.
It just
Why
makes
would
so
you
much
do this?
sense. There's so much. It just makes so much sense for her to just take this as a joke, and then she just lies about it, and then it becomes weird, right? It just becomes weird. It just becomes
Yeah.
icky at that instant it happens. And now I'm just like, weird. And also, it's on a YouTube channel, so it can't be real that high production. It can't be produced by Steven Spielberg, like most other dating shows in the world. You know.
Okay. I just need to hit the bathroom, dude. Be right back.
What do you mean need to hit the bathroom? What the fuck is this shit? You want me to just talk about this stupid ass virtual dating show where we were together? I can be the one finding it. So when it comes back, it'll be like, bam! We had the show. This is the show right there. Not also to make the enemies. I shouldn't just read it. She's her ex-girlfriend. Oh my god. You fucking twatterino. No, nobody's linked it. This is so sad. Oh. So I'm gonna write VR dating show.
Okay.
Now, oh, this is the one. This is her.
Okay.
Wait, this could actually be it. Face reveal. I don't know. Wait, how much? They said it was 4 episodes, right?
I don't know if they specified how many episodes there were.
Yeah, but she was in 4 episodes, which means there must be a series with
2.
Okay, there must be a series with more than 1 episode. Right?
There's a reunion at least, so if you find a reunion of prior cast members.
Oh my god, I've seen it. I've seen it. Wait, have I seen this? What the fuck is this? Oh, did it just... Oh, because I clicked it now. I see. Man, how much I wish there was someone in the comments that wrote anything about this. I mean... They did say VR chat, right? I'm not imagining this. I mean, this look is very serious. All of these things. Right. This will be what decides your fate, Shavir.
One bachelorette, all strangers. In each round, the bachelorette must eliminate one guy until she finds the one.
What? Do you think this is it?
On their camera for the grand face
no, because it was a date, and this is like a.
This show is not scripted.
This is like another thing
Yeah.
before you go on a date.
This is not Bachelor. I'm so sad. Please, Alexa, please.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this doesn't work. No, but this is a really weird. It's just so easy to fix, right? That's the problem. That's why it's so annoying.
Yeah, that's why
It's
it's
just
so.
why he
That's
didn't.
why it seems like such a.
How did
You know,
decided is it
like,
cheating now? Is it cheating?
like it's what you would do to be able to cheat.
Oh wait, so the question is for accusing.
Yeah, am I the asshole? Yeah,
For
yeah. It's
no,
for
but
accusing.
he's
Only.
he's not like ass of accusing her. I think that's fair. I don't think it's
Yeah, he's not the
asshole.
asshole for accusing. You know, this is definitely this is because
This is
that's why I call
boredom.
that's why I would this is why I would call it cheating because you have a solid basis on saying, hey, you did this to cheat,
Yeah,
right?
no, I
Because that's what
agree.
he's
There
because that's what he's saying.
are
You know, you did this so that you can cheat, hence you are cheating, right?
also
Because
there's
because
like
because
there's
the
like
question now isn't whether or not she actually managed to cheat, because right, she would have to manage to cheat as
I
well,
mean,
right?
she also
Put that out there.
you could also say you can also make an argument for her, like this, like like this isn't maybe like you can say that this isn't cheating, but also like this gives a free reign to flirt with people, which she maybe would like to do in a way which doesn't which you can be like, oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
I'm not
And
flirting. I'm like, you know, this is a game.
the point is just that she set up a scenario where she could cheat, right? Because she didn't say anything,
Hmm. Yeah, that's also true.
and that's why, and that's why I would call it cheating, because whether or not you actually went all the length that you managed to cheat or not isn't really the question. The question is, did you do this in order to be able to cheat or not, right?
I will
And from his
I will
point of
try to figure
view,
out if I can find this this thing for the next time we're gonna do this and pull it up before we're gonna start.
juicy hard dating.
I mean, it can't be that hard. It can't be that many dating shows. I don't know if I can possibly figure out which person this is. Like per se.
Is
I
it
don't-
a throwaway account or no?
No, but it's 3 hours
Or
ago.
the user?
I think that's the problem with finding something about it. Throw away. Oh, you want to see the user? But this is not her, right? She's
No,
your
it's
ex
one
girl. Who
karma.
cares?
This is a throwaway. It's one karma.
Ah.
It's mate. Oh, okay, it's not necessarily throwaway, but it's like he never uses it. Like, let's see, we won't find everything.
When I suppose
He's a
it?
guava blaster.
2012. Yeah, no, 2022. Yeah.
He just loves guava blast. Mountain
Yeah.
Dew guava blast from Taco Bell.
Is there any other? Is there any other? Because I think you're. Oh, fuck, I'm so.
I would really like want to understand if this person, what the person actually intended with this, right? Like the girlfriend. That would be I would be curious to know
But does it change
if
anything?
she like, it doesn't change anything in the sense of like whether he
Because
is the asshole or not, right?
if
But
I
but it does it I am curious as to, you know, if it's just somebody who is just
yeah, it would be
bad
really interesting
at
if we can actually
considering.
if we could find this clip and see how they acted in it. Because I think it would be really easy to know if they're just joking or not. Like
Yeah, exactly.
that too.
And for me, you know, that I would be interested in knowing whether or not.
But if
this
it's
was
like
just a
obviously
person.
a joke, like if you look at it and it's gonna be obvious a joke, then I don't see why she would lie about it either. I
Yeah,
don't understand it.
exactly. So for me, you know, I'm just curious as to know whether or not this is just a person who made a poor judgment on
But I
her
also
part.
can't see any way
Because-
for form
okay,
where VR chat.
it's-
This is on VR chat. There's nothing serious can ever happen in VR chat. Like this is the most
I don't
generous
fucking know.
place in humankind.
I
No,
don't
no, this is the
fucking know about that.
this
Like,
is the
like,
most degenerate place on Mother Earth. Like this is the place for furries and mutes.
but you're saying that like degenerates can't cheat. Of course, degenerates can cheat too.
I mean, they
you know,
can
it's like-
cheat.
it's like
I'm just saying she's a furry.
It's a very weird fucking thing, and I would be interested to know if this person just didn't think through what their actions signified.
No,
or
of
they
course not. They're
deliberately didn't,
okay,
right?
I'm just saying. Okay, well, let's look at some comments. Not the asshole. Dare to make enemies. Good people just don't. Shut the fuck up. What a stupid argument. Oh, please don't have autism.
That's the best. That's the best.
That's the most
argument you've heard,
autistic shit ever. I guess that they don't believe the. They don't
Good
believe
people don't make enemies.
they don't believe the this is a joke thing. I think that's what's happening here. If you're in a relationship, this is absolutely something you should disclose. Yeah, you should disclose it. I think that is just a given. And he's 15 years old, so he is very experienced in life.
Definitely.
And he's 72 years old. Not the asshole. I'm very experienced in life, actually. I am 72 years old. I'm not sure if this is exactly cheating, but this is something. The point is that she's repeatedly lied to you about what she... What? What she what? She... repeatedly lied to you about what she doing? And who she was interacting with, because she knows it was wrong. That is arguably just as bad as being unfaithful. That was an entire side she went out of her way to hide from you. Also wondering if they broke up because of this incident, because I don't think they said anything about that.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Even if that was 100% a character and not genuine date, it should have been disclosed to you prior. Okay. Is this 12 years old? I don't understand what this means anymore. Is this the age?
They it might be how many things they've answered.
420? I don't think this guy is 420 years old.
I think it's how many things they've answered.
I agree with entirely. If she it's intent to be acting perfectly innocent, just your friend project or something, then probably tell me. Okay, so can we construe this question that isn't cringe anymore? Like, is this cheating? How do you...
The question. The question is just if he's an asshole for accusing it. I think it's cheating because the only reason to do it is to cheat, right?
Okay, let's say she asked him.
If you simply just look at the deceptive nature of it, right?
Yeah, but if you take away the lying part,
well, then it isn't cheating. Unless
okay,
she
if
deliberately
what?
Said,
Okay, let's change this. Let's change it. No. Let's change this. So, what if she says it to him, then she says it's a character, but then she goes on it and it doesn't seem like a character? Would you call it cheating then? And we don't know if it's like is in character or if it's not in character either.
No, I
you can just take your word
for it. Because wouldn't call it cheating then because he would know, he would see it.
Okay, but this is asshole.
He looks at it. Is she an asshole for saying she'll do it in character and then not doing it in character? Maybe she just sucks at being in character. I don't fucking know.
Maybe she's a really bad actor. Have you thought about that one? Liberal.
It's very hard to ascertain.
No, I don't. I understand.
That, but like for me, the way that it would like still be cheating if she said it is if she just blatantly just says, I just wanna be with other people as well. I wanna be poly. Fuck you. You be poly as well. Like then you're cheating.
Fuck you be poly too.
Yeah, like
I don't think that's how polys get formed.
No, but like that is like that would be like
that is actually poly talk that everyone goes through.
You can disclose that you're gonna cheat, right?
You can be open
about the fact that you're cheating.
You can be open about cheating. Is that okay? I don't know. I've never tried this.
No, it's not okay. But like you're still cheating, right? But you don't. But you're saying it. You're like,
what you gotta do now, liberal?
Fuck you.
I'm gonna cheat.
What you gonna do now, liberal? Yeah,
and then everyone in the comments be like, she told you, so that's okay.
Yeah, like that would be like if she tells you she's gonna cheat, well then then you need to get out of that relationship or just be a cuck. I don't fucking know.
Not
Like,
the
that's how
asshole.
cucks-
This is from the
that's how
poor
cucks are
pooper intended. This is 51 years old, which is established. Is the
I
right way
think,
to
I
read
think
this.
it would be spicier if he said, "Am I the ass for accusing my girlfriend of cucking me?" Then we would really be going on some
What the
spicy.
fuck? Am I the asshole for having a furry girlfriend on VR
Well,
chat?
well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But it doesn't really
simply
sound
it.
like cheating as such to me. It sounds like she was chasing fame. That's also a thing, I think. Because I do believe this is a stream thing. I think this is a stream thing. This sounds like it. Like it's like
I have
from
no
a
idea.
streamer
Of course.
that has a gaming show, and they were
Sure.
just joining that.
It's the only thing that makes this resemble cheating is the fact that she was deceptive,
Yeah.
right?
And
It's
also,
like
again, I don't know.
it's
don't-
like it wouldn't even matter if you went on a VR dating show. It would be like the same if she just went to a bar. It's like if she's going to bars and lying about the fact that she's going to bars, you're like, why the hell are you going to bars if you're lying about it, right? What's
Yeah.
the point of lying about it? And like, maybe it was like, oh, I made you a big surprise and I didn't want you to know about it, and then that's actually the case, and you're like, okay, sheesh,
I
I got
actually,
really stressed from
this
your
was
way
a
of doing this, but,
surprise
like,
polynormous relationship.
yeah, but
It
like,
was a surprise. You just didn't know about it. No, I don't think we have anything more to say about this one. I think it was interesting, and then it got kind of like, I mean, it still is an interesting concept, but I think it's
it's
a
very silly in this case because
it
it's
got
so
very
easy
simple.
to solve.
It was very
It's so
simple
easy to solve. Yeah, it's like so
because
easy to solve, and that makes it really hard to understand the girlfriend's motive, right? Because it's so easy. Why didn't you just do it the way
but didn't
that would
just
just
tell
make
him you
it
were
so
cheating?
unproblematic? Yeah, because it was so easy to make unproblematic. Why the hell did you do it in such a problematic way? That's like that becomes such a big hole in understanding this that you're like, I have no idea what to think now.
Yeah.
Were you dumb?
Oh, I
Or-
really
or-
want.
or-
I
or- or
really
what?
want to find this thing. But I wouldn't even know which person it's. Oh, I really want to know this. Oh God. Do I give any information? I'm gonna try to find something about it.
So the facts you have is
It's a
one
VR
man
chat.
and one woman. It's VR chat platform. She dated
Yeah,
one man
she's
and one
dating a
woman,
girl, and she
said-
says it's sexual.
and she says yes to a second date, and the other guys say no. That's the facts.
This could be affiliate thing. Actually, I do think affiliate does something similar, but I don't. This is gonna be so stupid.
He's gonna spend like billions of years on this shit.
Like, not this.
She almost baited me.
Where the fuck is this is not what I'm looking at. I'm pretty sure I looked like they had like she had a dating show where like you have a one person, they no, this says second date now, but what the fuck. Yeah, no, they're matching two people together and then they're like bussing like in Jubilee videos. I think they maybe could be like that.
It's a Jubilee video, okay.
No, they're just a Jubilee video clone. They just had the same formula, inspired by Jubilee. So it's the same thing. They're like them two people match, and then they can say they want a second date or not.
Yeah.
But they're in 2 episodes, and pansexual and girl. I will try to find it, and if I have found it, I will disclose it. In the next episode. Next episode, it's gonna be super spicy and hype. Pansexual.
Yeah.
Girl. I mean, date with a girl
And a boy.
and a boy. It's the same person and at two different occasions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it say which order was? No.
Girl and then boy, I think, but I don't know if he actually specified it. But that's the order in which he named it.
Yeah, name it. Yeah,
A
but
date with
that
the girl and a date with the boy. So I don't know if it's in that specific order or not. But
yeah, no,
yeah, matched with the woman first, and then man on the second date.
and
So,
she said
first the woman
yes to
and
both
then the man.
situations.
She said yes, and the other party said no.
Okay, yeah. I will find this. I will find this.
So those are the facts.
But yeah, no,
Good
next time we're gonna have
Good luck,
another. We're
soldier.
gonna find another topic. If you have another topic, you can maybe take it up, and maybe if we can edit. I don't know which way we want to do it. If we're gonna be like, I want this topic, and then we're gonna do this topic, or you're gonna be like, I have this one post I really like, and then I can take this post, and then I can just find a topic within that post, and then something like that. We can figure it out on the way. But yeah, no, I think this is gonna be it for now. I'm gonna find this clip, and we're gonna then we can have a good conclusion. We're gonna look at it, and if it's a good character, if she's a good actor, we're gonna say not asshole, and the boyfriend actually asshole, and I'm gonna kill the boyfriend. That's our plan, right?
Okay.
We're gonna kill the boyfriend. That's gonna happen if we found it, and she is correct.
Okay,
Imagine he's like he's the best
blast.
character in the world. Imagine.
I don't want to imagine anything right now.
Okay.
Your imagination went a bit too fucking wild for me.
I really just want to find this thing. I actually really want to see this.
You want to find it so bad that you're becoming homicidal. For it. Like, I need it so fucking bad. Come on.
Did you learn anything new about reunions today? Which is the topic which everyone knew.
I learned that I've never. I should never go to a reunion, like ever. Like reunions are the worst place to ever be.
And that is today's lessons, kids. Okay. Bye.
That's actually the lesson. Bye bye.